Good morning. So here we are with the first video. First of all, thanks for the feedback and the responses. It's been overwhelming. Fantastic, everybody. Thank you. So now I think I'll try and give you a little bit of an overview of what I'm talking about and how I think I can help you. I am, of course, going to respond to your concerns about reading music, but also deal with some of your other thoughts, including how to build, what to buy to create your own remote recording setup or home working environment, which seems to be something many of you would like to do. I'm also aware that you are all at different stages in your reading, and that's why in this first video I'm mainly doing overview stuff before we get into the more specific. I'm also setting up a private Facebook group. This will give me a chance to respond to your concerns in one place, but more importantly get you talking about this stuff to one another and networking at the same time. As it gets bigger, I'm sure that you'll meet people you haven't known before and, be able to help one another out. Why don't you try this? Listen to this. What do you think about this? It all helps, I think. So this is really about making a change and making it stick. Most of you expressed a real desire to change the way you work, to create more freedom of choice as to the types of work you do and where you do it, to get off the road or off the ship or off the tour and make a great career that gives you a work-life balance you can love. As you know, I have stated in big capital letters that sight reading is one of the skills that can give you this because of a huge gaping hole in the market. It's ageless, harvests good money, real hard cash. This is an obvious step, but hardly anybody is doing it. And I want to be, able to help you to be the first people to make this change. That's why I flag up the home recording thing as well, which you did in your responses. It may be that a producer could send you vocal parts and a backing track, and you could do this stuff at home. Just the other day I had a singer in my studio doing some vocals for a production I'm currently working on. She's also a voiceover artist and could really do a lot of her stuff in her own home if she had a decent recording setup in her house. We started to discuss what she might need. She already has a mic and a laptop. She just needs the other bits and pieces to connect it all up, and then she's away. This will be ongoing for her, and of course I will keep you posted on how this goes. So, on to the music bit. I'm going to talk to you today about getting started with sight reading for vocal sessions. This will begin to provide an overview on how best to approach this by looking at one of my live vocal charts as used on a real session. This means that we're not going to be overly academic, but it will give you the information you need without all the woolly, stuffy bits and pieces that you don't. So in essence, here we go. A piece of printed music is a roadmap. It tells you where to go and what to do. Oh, and when to do it. It works on two axes. From the top to the bottom, it tells you the pitch of the note you should sing. And from the left to the right, when you should sing it. So really a relatively simple principle. A lot of the rest of the stuff is about navigation. Where to start, where to finish, where are the essential landmarks, where to change key and speed, what are the dynamics of the piece. A lot to think about, I know. Most singers, when they first take a look at a piece of music, go to the first note and see if they can tell what it is. Is that a G, they say to me, or is my note an F, or whatever? In capitals, this is the wrong approach. Here's what you should do. We need to learn to zoom out. We don't want to be drawn to our own worries about what the first note is. This is the best way to look at it. Know what you're up against. Take an overview. From this you can glean valuable information about the difficulty, the duration of the music, etc. You might even be able to tell what time you're going to get home to see the family. If I show you a picture for 2 seconds and then cover it up, you might be able to say there's a bridge and some water. If I show you for 5 seconds, you might be able to say there are some boats in a big city on the other side of the river. But if I give you unlimited browsing time, you'll be able to spot the odd mosque dotted around. You may even be able to identify which city it is. You're now looking at a bigger picture and seeing things as a whole, whereas when you first glance, you only see the first thing your eye is drawn to. This is our inclination when we first see music. So when we so-called zoom out, what are we looking for? Well, the essential landmarks on the music. The time signature, which tells us how many beats are in each bar. The key signature, which tells us what key we are in, how many sharps and flats there are, and when to change key. Obviously, sharps and flats affect the pitch of what you're going to sing, so this is very important. Then there's a repeat sections where a section is repeated. And double bars, where two bar lines are very close together, indicate the end of one musical section and the beginning of another. This, of course, helps with dynamics. How fast is the music? This is very important indeed, as it may have a very, very big bearing on the difficulty of the piece in front of you. Rehearsal letters perform a similar task in navigation. They just indicate sections where one begins and one ends. For example, in a typical pop song, it's probably likely that letter A will signify the first verse, letter B the bridge, and letter C the first chorus, and so on. We also have a dynamic system which tells us how loud or softly to perform the music, but more of this later. Okay, so this chart we're just going to talk you through just so you can get an idea of what I've just been talking about. First thing, the title, Liverpool Part 1, version 2. Okay, so that indicates that it's a medley of songs, probably associated with Liverpool, of course. So we don't actually know the song titles, but if you look through it, you can see that actually the song titles are indicated here and here and then here as we go through. So what do we notice then? I talked to you about tempo. One of the very handy things that I like to do, not everybody does it, is rather than write some Italian tempo marking like, I don't know, moderato or appassionato ma non troppo or something, I tend to write a value. So that says here, that says crotchet or quarter note equals 1, 2, 3. Now you can easily download any kind of free metronome from the App Store for your iPhone or Windows Phone or whatever, and you can get it to beat 1, 2, 3, and then you can find out exactly how fast it is. This is a bit nasty, a little horrible bar in a different time signature, but luckily we don't sing in that, so we don't have to worry about it. Also, you can put, you pointed out earlier on about the rehearsal letters which appear on this chart here. So this is obviously the first verse. This is the chorus of Drive My Car, the Beatles song. Okay, so one thing that you really do need to know, and that's that the way that these things are set out conventionally all over the world, is that the female vocal would be on this stave. So we're going like this, and then we get to the end and we go to the top stave of the next line, top stave of the next line, top stave of the next line, and the males are on the bottom. Okay, so there you go. It's also worth saying that some singers like to do things differently from others. So what you would normally do, boys, is here, you would start singing here. However many boys are on that particular session, say 2, you would start and both sing the bottom line, okay? Both sing all the bottom line. Probably overdub it as many times as the producer wants, and then all sing the second line. Work your way up. And then finally all sing the top line. So you sing the same thing. When the girls come in, they would probably start with the bottom. Although, like as I say, some singers like to start with the top and work down. It's entirely a matter of personal preference. But obviously you need to come to an agreement with the other people who are on the session. Okay, so then we get to here. We've got a little time signature change. We'll go through that next week. And it says slower, crotchet equals 91. So clearly it's slowing down, and we're into Strawberry Fields Forever, and there are no backing vocals in Strawberry Fields Forever. That's just a rest. We get to Penny Lane, where it goes faster again, changes key, and there is a couple of little lines in there for you. We carry on. It obviously picks up in speed here. We can see that it goes up to crotchet equals 154 for She Loves You, and we go through that. The boys, just the boys in there. Then it slows up slightly for I Want to Hold Your Hand, and we sing these lines. We're going through here now, and then faster into I Saw Her Standing There, and changes key again. So it's fairly straightforward once you know what you're looking for. So you know this piece would probably be something like 3 minutes. So generally you're looking at, I don't know, probably 1 hour and 30 minutes to record all that with all the overdubs. So because of course once you've learnt one line, you just sing it again, and it's very easy after that. It's the first getting the first takedown that is the problem. Okay, so now I'm going to put the audio on the end of the video and just let you be able to have a listen through and identify the parts and just get used to looking at that music. Okay, so where do we go next? Obviously, you can always find out more at studio34music.com, but more specifically, I'm going to send you an email with a link which will take you to my website. Also, in the website, there will be a member space which you will be eligible for once you enroll with a username and a password for you to get in and see all the rest of the material, etc., etc. So that's a good thing. Okay, so I'm going to offer these 5 more videos at £47 for the whole 5. This will include the video, the quizzes and questions I will put in the private Facebook group, and also a one-to-one Skype session to follow up with you personally after each video. This is a half-price offer that will increase the next time, but because you're the first group in, I feel that I want to do something for you that is high value, so that's what I'm going to do. So follow that up. If you help yourself, I can really help you, and we can get to where we want to get to. Okay, I'm going to now play the music and you'll see the graphic of the part that we've been discussing today. See you soon. Goodbye.
I got the music in me.